let me just say this: you've been in the industry for a few decades.
Number of years.
30.
Going on 40.
Okay, going on 40. If you can sum up what's going on with the industry today, what would it be?
I haven't got a clue. I have no idea.
You're in the industry today, though, right?
But I have a career, and I work, and I don't judge the rest of the business by whatever I'm going through. I really have no idea. I'm quite serious. It's I mean, I know there's implosion, there's shrinkage. You know, I mean, I said to somebody yesterday that my big regret in life is that that the collapse of the empire happened before I died. And it's kind of pissing me off because I was hoping to slip into the dirt nap as a residing member of a hegemony, as opposed to this wishy-washy crap we have going on now as the collapse of human civilization.
So
it's kind of melting. It isn't as dramatic as I was expecting it to be.
So you can comment on civilization, like the human civilization.
I'm living it, you know, but I really don't pay much attention to anything else. I'm not as solipsistic as I sound. But I am as narcissistic as I sound. There is a difference, you know?
Okay, then let me ask you this.
I mean, comic books, I'm at a comic book convention right now. You can hear all those people making comic book noises at each other. But I really have absolutely no idea what the rest of the comic book business is like. I honestly don't. I wasn't being cute or facetious, or I was being cute if not facetious.
Okay.
But I really don't know. Because I work at home. I don't live in New York or Los Angeles. I live in a small town. I'm like in witness protection, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, sure.
And camera.
This could spoil that.
And
no one really watches this.
Okay, yeah, right. It's Canadian television. It's Canadian public access television, isn't it? There you go.
How did you guess that?
I'm a good guesser. There are 18 people in Canada who know it exists, and they're all parents. Well,
that's being generous.
I'm hip, and so, you know, I have no idea. I mean, I don't read a lot about this stuff. I read the stuff that people think I should look at, with a couple of exceptions, you know.
And what do they suggest you look at?
This artist, that artist, things like that, you know.
Okay.
I'm not plugging anybody else's stuff but me, babe. What am I, wood?
Now, you helped develop a lot of the language that came out of 80s art, like yourself, then later Frank Miller, this sort of experimental page design, experimental story techniques. What do you see as your greatest contribution to modern comic art?
Offering a lot of stuff to guys who had no idea what I was doing to do really bad layout.
Is this a case where you can't name names again, or?
No, I'm not going to name names. I mean, I only speak ill of the dead, because to paraphrase Stephen Sondheim, you only talk bad about the dead because they can't defend themselves and it won't hurt their feelings. You know, I think it's true. But I mean, what I was doing in the 80s was just kind of rethinking the way pages were laid out and stories were told. And I think a lot of what I did and continue to do is consistently misinterpreted, misunderstood, and misused. I teach a seminar twice a year at Marvel Comics along with Klaus Janson. And one of the precepts of what I'm talking about for the most part at these past seminars is the concept of narrative served by graphic design. Okay. And it's all about the relationship of scale and space. This is getting a little esoteric for this crowd. Scale and space to time, and how that relates to what the page means. I mean, Walter Simonson has said many years ago that comics are illustration with the addition of time, and I believe that's a very telling note. I believe that a comic book artist's job is to tell a story and to make a writer look good, no matter how awful the story is. That's my job.
Okay, then let me ask you this.
Okay.
Coming out of everything you've just said, you did an interview once where you said that comics are trash. Do you still feel that way?
Mostly, yeah.
Are your comics trash?
Some of them. I've done some really dreadful work.
Is the art form capable of more than that, though?
You're setting me up by calling it an art form.
Do you see it as an art form or as
a medium?
As a medium. Okay.
I think comics have more in common with television than with any other medium extant out there. Okay, so because I mean, mainstream comics certainly are a predominantly serial-based, you know, sort of a moving forward train of collaboratory event, like television, that is a product unto itself, unlike television. In television, the audience is the product, except on cable. And well, it's true. Come on, cable, you're selling subscribers, and network and mass market and network television, you're selling the audience's eyes. Okay. This isn't facetious stuff. I'm serious.
Okay.
I think about this shit. Okay. You know, come on.
I believe it.
I really do. but I think comics are a medium in the most basic sense of the word. They're a story delivery system, and most of the stuff is disposable crap. But that's okay. I mean, it's because most rock and roll is disposable crap. A lot of jazz is disposable crap. Movies, for Christ's sake, television. But I mean, right now we're living through, speaking of television, the worst television ever, and the best television ever. It's amazing. I mean, like lateral and side by side, the worst crap I've ever seen in my life, at the same time as the most monumentally brilliant material ever shown on television. It's astonishing.
Can you give us an example? What's a good TV show right now?
Right now, Justified just wrapped up a season. It's the best crime show ever been on television in years. Certainly The Wire. Friday Night Lights was the second best television show ever made. The Wire was the best television show ever made. I'm actually surprised how much I like Game of Thrones, because I'm not that guy. I don't like that stuff is just not my world. And I like it because it's dirty, funny, and violent, and and I like the people on it. I mean, I love Community. I love Cougar Town, despite the fact that it's ashamed of what it's called. You know.
And the worst?
Anything with the words world, Snooki. I've only seen 2 episodes of those sort of shows, just to see what it was that I wasn't seeing that they were, and I realized that I'm not this world. This is not for me, and I can't bear it. I don't like unscripted television. I like, I'm not a sports guy, for example. And I realized finally that the reason I have no interest in sports is it lacks narrative for me. I like narrative. And I like the narrative structure of television. I watch a lot more television than I should.
So one day, unfortunately, you will pass away, and people may speak ill of you.
Oh, I will speak bespoke. Oh, yeah.
What do they hope they say about you?
I'm not going to give you my fucking negative obit, please. That's absurd. There's plenty of people out there. Well, actually, the wonderful thing is that there aren't plenty of people out there smart enough to shit all over me. They'll try, I'm sure, but I'm not going to help them. For Christ's sake. That seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? If they have to work a little harder to defame me in my death, so be it. I feel like Thor when I said that. That was really good, because I'm a Jewish guy who speaks like an Aryan god.
There's nothing you hope. What's your legacy? What do you want to leave as your legacy?
I'll have 2 weeks of good ink and then be totally forgotten. When my mentor died, he got obitted in Newsweek and Time. And since neither he nor I have any belief in any God.
And who's your mentor?
Gil Kane.
Okay.
Gil Kane. Who I got laughs at his memorial, I might add.
Okay.
I guarantee if like that Al Hirschfeld drawing from My Fair Lady, where George Bernard Shaw is up there manipulating Liza and Henry from heaven. If there is a God and there is a heaven, Gil was looking down really pissed. Because where was that ink when he was walking? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Who am I looking at, you or her?
You can look at me and then into the camera if you don't mind.
I can't do both at the same time. What am I, fucking wall-eyed?